Here we go.
Hey, man. Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, dude.
I've eaten, but I cannot shit. I've got a tapeworm, he's eaten every bit. I can't sit because my guts are a mess. Think I'm dying and I need to confess. I have eaten all your chocolate. Chocolate, yeah. Now I've got the runs down my leg. Oh no! Oh no! Chocolate, yeah.
We're frozen. It froze up the screen.
That was hilarious.
Well, now.
Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast. We're here with a normal crew of idiots, and we have here Craig Mitchell, who's all excited today because the first day of Mets.
And Justin Verlander got hurt already.
I know. I'm wearing a black armband. And we have one of the greatest murderers in the world.
Psycho killer.
Mike Grief.
Come on, man. I have never killed anyone in my life that you can prove.
But you're wearing a Batman hat, so that means if you were a villain, you'd probably kill him.
Because I'm Batman.
Yeah, Mike, if
That's
you were
my
a
favorite.
Batman
You ever
villain,
see
Batman
that? You ever
wouldn't
see
stand
that?
a chance.
That is my favorite scene in the movie when it's like he's got the guy on the roof and he's like holding him off the edge of the roof, and the guy's like, "Oh, don't kill me, man!" He goes, "I want you to do me," you know, that whole thing. He goes, "What are you?"
Wait,
I'm Batman.
let's do it. I'll be the guy.
Well,
you be Batman. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
What are you?
I'm Batman. Well, here, first you got to decide, and this will really change my opinion if you give me a different answer. Who's your favorite Batman?
Oh crap! Really?
Yeah, who's your favorite? You too, John. Who's your favorite? Or do you even like Batman?
Well,
if you don't say it.
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, go ahead. Who's your favorite Batman?
Michael Keaton.
Yes,
Yeah, me
you
too.
are correct.
Me too.
You are. Well, you guys are right. I mean,
But
I'm not going to argue with it.
I will say this: Ben Affleck could have been better, but they totally fucked him up. They did.
We'll never know. Anyway, I mean,
They wussified him in the Justice League that Joss Whedon did.
He can't compare to Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was the first and the best.
Okay, so
nuts? Let's get nuts.
Get nuts. Let me tell you about a kid, Jack.
After the LA riots, we were flying. After the LA riots, I was flying home, and Michael Keaton came in and sat down next to me on the plane.
Oh wow.
Because everybody was trying to, he wasn't in first class. Everyone was just trying to get out of LA, I guess.
Right.
And I had a script that I was reading, and he had a script. And I didn't really recognize him at first because he's really bald.
He's bald.
Yeah, he's
really
been wearing
bald.
a
hairpiece
even back then.
Yeah.
Wait, so this is when Batman, the first one was out.
Batman Returns, 1992.
Yeah, it was the LA riots, so I'm not sure what year it was.
Every other year is the LA riots.
I'm looking at him thinking, God, this guy looks familiar, but he looked really different because he was really bald. And so I just read my script for the stupid pilot I was doing, and he read his script, and we didn't really talk at all.
Right.
And halfway through the flight, he looked over and said, "How's yours?" And I go, "Sucks." He goes, "Yeah, this one does too." And we both kept reading. So the plane lands, and I'm all excited. It's Michael Keaton, It's like I'm all excited.
Right.
And he stands up and he looks at me. He shakes my hand and goes, "Thank you." I guess we're not bugging him that he was Michael Keaton.
Yeah. No, that's let me tell you something. It means something to them because they realize that everyone wants a piece of them. Everyone wants a piece of their time. And it's like, maybe he may not be your favorite, but like I met Jon Voight in a deli once. I was with my wife, and we were going to eat, and Jon Voight's walking in, and it's Jon Voight. I don't care about his politics and whatever. He's fucking one of my favorite actors. So it's like, the wife starts, I'm like talking to him, blah, blah, and I go, Come on, hon, let's go. The man wants to eat lunch. And he just reached out and shook my hand. He goes, "You're a good man." Like,
Well, I was at Gelson's one time. I was getting soup from my mom because there's a deli counter, and she used to love the soup from Gelson's. And I'm getting it, and I hear next to me a very familiar voice go, "Yeah, get a pound of bologna." And I turn around and look. I know it sounds like Sam Elliott, but it wasn't Sam Elliott. I turn around and look, and it was
like
Harrison
Stallone.
Ford. No,
It was Harrison Ford. Wow.
Right next to me. And I had a crisis immediately. I'm like, okay, do I say something? And I actually I said, you know what? There's nothing I could possibly say.
No, you should have said, "I love you." And he would have went, "I know."
Yeah.
Maybe you should have just walked by him and went, dun, 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 dun. So I met
we
Jon
named
Voight.
the dog Indiana.
I met Jon Voight also.
Did you?
Yes, I was let's do a little name dropping here. I was doing the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young reunion tour.
Oh,
and I was in my dressing room after the show
with Crosby,
Stills
and Nash.
And John. Now I had my own dressing room, and Jon Voight came in. It was really funny because I had some friends that came to the show that didn't even know I was a performer, and they went backstage and it said Crosby, Stills, Nash, Young, Ferrantino. And they were like, "Is he in the band now?"
Yeah, man, he's the tambourine man.
So anyway, Jon Voight came into my dressing room. Well, all my friends were there, which was really amazing. And he came in, he had kind of longer hair then. And he came in, he's a tall guy too.
It's like 6'2".
Yeah.
It's like 6'2".
And he came in and he grabbed my hand with both hands and he went, "Very, very funny, intensely funny." And just left. And just left. And then, and that wasn't even crazy enough, my friends are like, "Who's Jon Voight? Who's Jon Voight?" Jack Nicholson sticks his head into the door and does a Jack Nicholson. He goes, "Pretty fucking funny."
Wow. Wow.
Now that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
You know, when Jon Voight came into your room, you should have went, "I'm dressing here. I'm dressing here."
Yeah, it was a benefit for Greenpeace.
I love those chance star meetings. It's like the time, Rodney Dangerfield said to me, "Hey man, can I please have my wallet back?"
Did you
it's like, what are you doing? He's Dangerfield. Hey, come on, man, please give it back. All right. What are you gonna do? I gave it back to him.
You know what the most disturbing thing about hanging out with Rod? God, I sound like just like the name dropper of the world. Hanging out with Rodney backstage was he never wore underwear. And he wore that stupid white bathrobe.
So wait a minute. Are you
saying
you've seen Rodney's junk?
Oh my God, yes.
I think that's a good name for it too.
Okay, so anyway, he would come in, right? I was with my ex-wife. We're sitting on a couch. He comes in, and he's got this white bathrobe on and these slippers,
right.
And he carries a hand towel with him to cover up his junk. Because when he puts his leg up, it hangs down to his ankles. And
I hope you're just talking about the testicles here.
Yeah,
okay, good.
When he takes a shower, he stubs his toe on him. All right. So he comes
it on
in,
my sack.
He comes in. He throws his leg up on the couch, and he goes, "Hey, how you doing, Johnny? Hey, how you doing?" And we're talking, and then he positions his towel,
junk,
and then his towel, and then he leaves. The night that he died, my ex-wife calls me up and she goes, "Millions of people laughed at his jokes, but not everyone got to see his nutsack."
I'm gonna make a left turn here.
Don't go too far.
No, I've been around guys who are very open with their nether regions. They just kind of. Doesn't that strike you as kind of gay when you kind of display it like that? And I know I can try.
He's so old he didn't care.
Listen. I mean, I used to work out at the YMCA.
That's different. That's a gym, right?
But what I'm saying, in the locker room, though, the guys walk around with their sack. I mean, it's like it's all. Yeah, not me. I wouldn't, because it's like that's exactly the way I felt. It's like I don't need some friggin' 75, 80, 90-year-old guy going, "Hey, those nice balls you got there." You know what I mean?
Nice,
it's like,
look at that.
But
but they're waiting for you to compliment them. Hey, that's you got a nice sack yourself.
But that the reason is that any of those old comics never sat down in a pair of pants they went on stage in.
No, because they didn't want to get them wrinkled up.
They didn't want to get a crease. from sitting down.
Yeah.
So
Mr.
as soon as they
Saturday
walked
Night.
on stage, they put on their bathrobes and they walked around. But Rodney put on his bathrobes and always took off his underwear.
Well, I don't wear underwear
you.
either, but I don't
That was the-
display everything I have for people all to see.
But you know, John, you got the bonus plan. You got to see Rodney at his funniest and at his really funniest. Sack is hanging low.
It's funny. It's funny as Rodney was on stage. He was almost funnier off stage when he just talked to you.
That's what I was going to ask, because I only met him one time, and it was the truth. It's like I worked this club in New York. I was a regular. I've never met him. I come out to LA and I'm working at the Laugh Factory, and who's sitting there before the show is Rodney, surrounded by a few girls, and he's wasted, and whatever. And I go up to him and I'm like, hey, oh man, I'm such a huge fan. I'm a comic. I work your club in New York. And he just goes, yeah, that's great. All right, take a hike, And I'm like, yeah, fucking dreams.
I didn't work Dangerfield that much, but it just so happened that following weekend I was working Dangerfield. So he goes, hey, Johnny, Bobby, I was with Bob Nelson. Bobby tells me you're a funny guy. Were you working? I go, yeah, I'm working at Dangerfield next week. He goes, oh, there's a career move for you.
Yeah. Right. Welcome to Dangerfield. Set your clock back to 1963.
He goes, wait, this is great. He goes, let me tell you something, Johnny. All club owners suck. Yeah, they all suck. Remember, I'm working this joint. Every time he talks like a beatnik. He goes, I'm working this joint upstate New York. I'm working for this cat. 2 shows a night, right? He goes, at the end of the week, he comes up to me and he goes, hey, Jack, you're the best act I've ever had here. Sold out every single night. The place was on fire. And I go, hey, thank you so much. How about dipping into your pocket? Give me a little extra for the effort. He goes, Jack, I'd love to. They just weren't drinking.
They just weren't drinking. And for anyone who doesn't know, Jack was Rodney's real name.
Yeah. So, and then he goes like this. Then he goes, I'm working this other joint, man. He goes, it's me and these 3. Oh, I guess I can't even say it nowadays. He goes, 3 queers. Because that's what. Yeah. No, but I mean, I guess now that.
Queer.
I guess now you can say that. But back then it was like a slander. I don't think you can say it like that.
No, he didn't mean it with the way that it's meant to.
Right.
But
so he goes, so I go, well, what did they do? And he goes, he goes, one sang, the other 2 planted flowers.
Holy shit.
So the guy goes, wait. The guy goes, he says, Jack, you're the best act I've ever had. I'm going to sun you for another 2 weeks. And he says, I'm just going to keep the singer. So they bring in the trio and he says, look, we're just going to keep the singer. And he goes, we're a trio. We don't break up. He goes, you don't break up? Sorry, Jack, you're out.
Well, I was going to say, while we're on the topic of Rodney, maybe we can talk about what your favorite movie of his or movie appearance of his is.
Oh, that's an easy one. I mean, for me, it's Easy Money.
Yeah. I actually just watched that a couple of weeks ago. It's out of it. Yeah. What about you, John?
I liked Caddyshack.
Yeah.
I liked the whole movie. I thought he was.
Well, or Back to School, but Easy Money, I got to go.
My favorite line is that's when they're in that store and what's his name's got on that hat.
Yeah.
What do you buy, it looks good on you.
What do you buy? A free bowl of soup? They give you a hat. Oh, but it looks
I got a great story about that. I have a great story about that. I read this. Harold Ramis directed Caddyshack, and Caddyshack was.
Have you ever seen his balls?
Never, but it was also Rodney.
I have him on a plaque.
Is Rodney's first movie. So they're in the pro shop, and Rodney's about to do that entrance and do that stuff with the hat and all that stuff. Yeah. And he goes, "Okay, action!" And Rodney's just standing there doing nothing. And then Harold Ramis thinks, "Oh, he didn't hear me." Action! And Rodney's not doing it because Rodney didn't know what that meant. So he goes, "Rodney, do your thing." And Rodney went out and he did the whole scene perfectly, one take, just like you saw it.
How much heroin was he on to not know what action means?
Yeah, well, for the rest of the movie, whenever he wanted, he went, "Rodney, do your thing." That's what he did for the rest of the movie.
Do your thing. I mean, I mean, he's legendary for how much drinking and smoking and drugs.
He smoked pot everywhere. He got thrown out of Caroline's one night. In the middle of the show, he just took out a joint and lit it up.
He had no shame about it.
On stage or in the audience?
No, in the audience.
Oh, gee.
Even in his movies, man,
it's Marlin.
No shame about it.
Jackie Martling, Jackie the Joke Man's favorite story was Rodney asked him to come work with him, in Vegas, and basically Jackie became almost like a babysitter for Rodney's daughter. And so the first night they're there, Jackie's like in Vegas for the first time. He's riding in a limo with Rodney Dangerfield. And this is years ago. And it's like, this is a dream come true. And then Rodney goes, driver, pull over behind Caesars. So he pulls over and he gets out and he walks out and he just starts taking a piss on the back of Caesars.
Hey, when you got to piss, you got to
And he goes like this. He goes to Jackie, come on, Jackie, come join me. Oh, he goes, the two of them are pissing on the side of Caesar's Palace. Jackie goes, the whole scene is so surreal. And all of a sudden, Rodney looks at him and goes, hey, kid, welcome to show business.
Yeah, man, that's a great show business little freaking, that's a memory that lasts forever. That's like when Martin Landau, I'm working on a movie, we're at on the back lot at Universal, and I'm there working on EdTV, Ron Howard, dropping names, Ron Howard, all this. And so, it's Martin Landau. I mean, and so it's like,
I had one of his roofs on my car.
I made friends with him. I was hanging out. It's funny because twice it's like I told him I was, trying to lose weight. I'm on a diet and this, that. So he would keep an eye on me when I was at craft service. And I remember the weekend comes, we come back Monday and he goes, yeah, I think you lost some weight. And I go, really? He goes, yeah, well, I wouldn't go, hey, Mike over there, the skinny guy, But anyway, I asked him for advice for a young actor, and here we are on the back lot of Universal shooting a movie. And he put his arm around me and he goes, look around. And he goes, you don't need any advice, man. He goes, you're doing just fine.
Oh, that's
And
great.
you talk about those show business moments, like Jackie and Rodney pissing on a dumpster in the back of Caesar.
His two biggest roles, man. His two biggest roles. He was nominated, I think, for Tucker, A Man in His Dream. He was great in that. And then he was nominated in one for Ed Wood. Ed Wood is one of my favorite movies, man.
He played that when his Bela Lugosi was it was heart-wrenching. It was heart-wrenching.
You talk about one of these celebrity moments. 40 years ago when I worked in that
Constipation.
No, it's like from the movie.
Pull this thing. Yeah, sorry.
40 years ago, I worked the Magic Castle for the first time, right? And
me and Craig were 5.
Right. So anyway, I worked the Magic Castle. It was probably more than 40 years ago. And my dad said, yeah, you're doing pretty well here, but if you can get booked at the castle and you go there and your act still plays, then you'll know you have something, He goes, because they're supposed to be the best. So I get booked at the castle. I go there. This is in the height of Steve Martin mania. And I'm standing there in the dressing room, and all of a sudden the guy comes in and goes, Steve Martin's in the front row.
Oh,
my first show there.
King Tut.
And I was like, oh,
intimidated,
my God.
Man, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I walked out and, did the Barstool bit. He's cracked up. He cracked up. And then he came in the dressing room and he shook my hand after and said, "Hey, you're really funny."
It's intimidating, though.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
That's like, I don't know if Craig, if you've ever experienced, because I know you've probably gone for more auditions than John, but like when you walk in and like I've walked into I read for Analyze This,
Right.
with as the part of Jelly, who was De Niro's best friend basically. I walk in and who am I? Talk about Harold Ramis. So I'm reading with Harold Ramis, and then you talk about you walk in and it's like being thrown off your game. I mean, I didn't get it. Obviously, Vitarelli, I forgot his first name, but the great actor got the part.
It was perfect.
Oh yeah,
casting was perfect. I wasn't old enough at the time.
Jelly,
whatever.
Yeah, he's great,
and it was an amazing movie. But I've walked in and you're reading for something, and it's like this huge actor who's directing that week, and it's like wow, it's an unbelievable feeling.
I got an audition to be a one-line thing in Spin City. To basically just say, "Here's your sandwich." That was basically the line,
right?
And I go in there, and
let me hear it though. Let me hear your line. Let's hear it.
Okay, here's your sandwich.
Sorry, we'll call you. We'll call you.
Yeah, exactly. So I walk in, and I read with the casting person for the show in her office in front of her desk. And it was basically, "Oh, whenever you're ready, Craig. Here's your sandwich." "Great. Can you do it again?" "Sure. Here's your sandwich." "Can you wait outside?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I'm waiting outside. And she goes, "Okay, would you mind doing it again with the producer?" I'm like, "No, I think I got it memorized too." you know, and I walk in and it's Michael J. Fox. I never connected the fact he also produced. He was executive producer of the show, and the scene was with him. So he mimes open the door. I go, "Here's a sandwich." And the way I did it was I went, "Here's your sandwich," and then I lowered my hand,
right,
because he's short, right? And he cracked up. She cracked up. I walked out of there going, "Fucking nailed it!" And I get a call from Tom and Genio and Omnipop, and he goes, "They want somebody shorter. You're too tall."
It's always, anytime I've ever walked out of an audition and thought, "Oh, I nailed that. It's mine. I never got it." When I walk out and go, they're probably burning my headshot as I speak. My agent be on the phone going, "You got the job." It never failed.
You talk about intimidation. I was working in Vegas, and Paul Provenza came to my show. We were hanging out.
Friend of the show, by the way.
Yes, and he says to me, after the show, I can't go out tonight. I'm going to Pentella's house, and I would love to have you come with me, but they would hate you because you do comedy magic.
That's so weird.
So I go, "Oh, that's great, right?" So I don't think anything of it, right? So I don't think anything. 2 weeks later, Joe Silky, another friend of the show, was on hiatus. Yes. We got hired to do a Canadian time capsule. They wanted us to develop a trick. They were going to tape us, put it in this time capsule, and did an interview with us. And then it was how they took it through the whole thing of how we came up with the trick, how it started, how we wrote it, and then we performed it that night. So I performed at this little black box theater, and I walk out. There's no microphone. And as far as I am away from this computer sitting in the front row, this is a week later, it's Penn and Teller. And I got to look at him the whole time thinking, they think I'm a dick. And the show is over, and Teller, the little guy that doesn't talk, came in the dressing room, and he was like, "Oh, man, you were really funny. That part still killed me. You totally got me." And then Penn Jillette came in the dressing room and gave me like one of these, which apparently is a rave, and then left.
Isn't he like huge? What is he, like 6'7" or something? Like he's like
I know he's 6'7", but he's tall. He's really tall. But meanwhile, they love Michael Carbonaro. They're giving him his theater again this summer.
Who doesn't love Michael Carbonaro? We all love Michael.
Another friend. We
have a lot of friends on this show.
That's
oh my
right.
God! You know what? About 35, maybe 40 years ago, I started off my comedy career with my partner Tom Fry. We did Abbott and Costello type routines. We did a lot of burlesque routines, and we got hired by Joey Adams. Remember Joey Adams?
Sure. I have a signed copy of his joke book.
I was on his radio show several times, but he hired us to do one of these routines. I forget which one we did. It might have been Who's on First at the New School. And we went up and we did it, and we killed. They loved it. And at the end of as we finished, Soupy Sales came walking up, clapping, goes, "You guys are freaking great!" And we're like, "You're Soupy Sales," and, you know. I mean, we didn't really get to meet him more than that, but it was like it freaked us out.
Yeah.
It's funny, those chance meetings. I was walking down the street once with my friend, and this beautiful, beautiful blonde comes walking out of a store with this little weaselly guy. And I say to my friend, we're pretty close, I go, "Look at this Woody Allen looking motherfucker." And it was Woody Allen. And he goes running down the street, just left her. Like weaving in and out of people to get away from us. What do you think? It was going to kill him or something?
Maybe. I did that to Seinfeld once. You ever know? And this was, I don't know, Jesus, 30 years ago. I was just walking to the comic strip in New York, in Manhattan. And you know when you see somebody and you know them, but you're not sure if you know them or you recognize them from. So it was Seinfeld, and he was famous, but he wasn't Jerry Seinfeld that we know today. So I just remember I walked up to him and I went, "Hey man, how you doing?" And he's and I could see that, you know, and you remember when I was young doing the the leather and the tattoos and the 20-inch arms hanging out, and he was scared. He was fucking scared shitless. And then in the middle of it, I realized I don't know this guy. I just know him from TV.
Right.
So I was like, "Oh, hey, can I get?" So I asked, like, "Can I get your order?" And he was like, "Anything." You don't want to give me his order. I could have fucking got his wallet. Anything, you know. He was just happy that I fucking let him live.
Oh man, he was. Yeah, I've heard so many stories about Jerry. I can't tell what I've heard some good stories and I heard some really bad stories. So
I've never heard any really
bad
stories about him.
Because of legalities, I can't really go into specifics. but he ripped off a
Oh, right there, you're libeling yourself right there, because that's hearsay. That's hearsay.
No, okay, supposedly, allegedly, he
Allegedly.
ripped off an idea of a good friend of mine, and there's still litigation going on.
Well, I'll tell you that. I mean, I guess no, he won't get anything because first of all, I've had people directly steal, and we've all had people steal directly from us.
There's documentation,
and what they do is they'll just say, "Oh, it's a dual,
parallel thought."
The same parallel, right? Anyone can have the same idea. No,
yeah, it's true, but I can't go into specifics. But that's not the case here.
So when when I did Comics Reply, you'd have to come in on Friday night. You'd have to run your set for the censors and everyone, the timer and the directors and everything. So I was at the Laugh Factory? Where was?
Speaking of which, when are we gonna have Mulrooney on the show?
Wait, what was that? The Laugh Factory?
What?
On Sunset where they did Comics Reply?
Yeah, the Laugh Factory, yeah.
Yeah.
They started at Igby's. They started at Igby's. Yeah, they started at Igby's and then they moved to the Laugh Factory.
Laugh Factory, right.
Yeah.
Because they could get a better shot from the upstairs.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, right? And the first time ever, I'm just going to do a stand-up spot. I'm not doing any magic. I don't have any magic with me. And because Rory goes, you've done the show so many times that let's just do a stand-up spot.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, So I go to do my stand-up spot, which I'm scared stiff because I got nothing to fall back on, And right before I went on, Jamie Lozada goes, listen, Jerry Seinfeld just stopped in. He wants to run his spot for you remember he used to do stand-up in front of his show?
Yeah.
He goes, he just wants to run his spot. And I'm like, oh, great. Just what I need. So he comes out, Jamie, and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, the guy that put this place on the map. And he gives him this build up. He's got his own show. And I'm sitting there going, oh, God, this is going to be bad. He goes, buckle up your seatbelts. Buckle up your seatbelts for the one and only Jerry Seinfeld. And Seinfeld was really funny. He was walking out. He goes, all right. You can unbuckle those seatbelts. I'm just going to be reading new jokes.
Yeah. Don't you hate that's one thing I always hated, those big build up stupid intros, because it's like, just let my act speak for itself. And any comic who just wants his act to speak for, and especially somebody who's famous doesn't need all the bullshit because you're just putting pressure on them,
You ever see that talk?
By the way, John, I just want to say I watched what you sent me, that audition thing for the dry bar.
Right.
Funny, I can't imagine why they wouldn't put you on, John. Your act, you are one of those people that I could watch over and over and over. And I was cracking up. I was laughing and I've seen the act 100 times, but I laugh every time.
What am I, a bag of shit?
Yeah. Yes, no, you are, Craig. But anyway, John,
I am on the outs of this group.
No. We were talking about how
Craig. When did you get here?
You said to me, you told us about a certain comic that got dry bar.
Yeah.
So I said Tony Camacho text saying, I can't believe blah 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 got the show and I'm still waiting.
He just sent it to me because he wanted to see what I thought of it.
I want to see it though.
I'll send it to you.
It's got to be somebody he respects.
John, I have my Lubriderm all ready to go. I want to see it.
He sent it to somebody whose opinion he respects, Craig. You can understand that.
Why did he send it to you, Mike?
So I got this videotape from the Magic Castle that, how like it's entertainers, we always want that great videotape that we never get because something always goes wrong.
Right.
This is the perfect set. Right. I mean,
oh my God, it's amazing.
It's killer. It's killer.
You know, it reminded me of the last time I saw you there. Do you remember that this chick in a see-through dress came up? You always ask for a volunteer, and this chick comes up in a see-through dress and like drunk off her ass. I mean, like, she kept lifting her whatever. You could see it's like they had to escort her off the stage. I mean, but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I saw that one.
Were you there that time?
No, I saw it. Didn't you do videotape that one?
I don't know.
No, you told the story about it. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. No, there was another one where I was working in that smaller room before you guys came to see me. I was working in the Palace, and this woman was so beautiful. Like she had to be like 5'10", blonde hair, she had a dress like that was slit, like a black formal, skin tight.
All right, that's
split
enough,
out
John.
to-
I'm gonna have
Hold
to
on,
leave.
hold
If
on.
you
This is
if you
required.
keep describing it, I'm gonna have to
Right.
leave.
Hold on, this is required.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I know.
so she comes up on stage and she goes, "You are really funny. And I just got married recently, but my husband said I can have a hall pass, and I think I'd like to use it on you."
Whoa.
What the fuck?
So I just put my arm right around her and walked right out the stage door.
Really?
And then ran around, full speed, pulled my shirt out of my pants, and I kept walking in and I go, "Oh God, I really wish that would have taken longer."
That's a story you told.
And
That's
it killed. And yeah, they weren't
He
real
said
happy
that on
with that.
stage?
Yeah.
It was on stage.
Was she
wow.
serious about the hall pass thing though, or is she just?
I don't know.
Oh, shit! I would
She
have been
was
hunting
like-
for her afterwards. I mean, if I was single.
This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I was watching the news and this whole Stormy Daniels thing, and the guy from Inquirer who was hired to squash any sexual stories about Donald Trump's name is David Pecker.
David Pecker. Why don't I just call yourself Frankie Cockhead?
I mean, you can't write something that funny.
That's crazy. Come on, man.
That's
guy
like-
needs a publicist. Change your name.
David Pecker.
Yeah.
Now, since we can talk about baseball today, of course, Peter Marshall, the host of the Hollywood Squares, still
We were
alive.
going to
He's
talk
like
about
96.
movies.
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Peter
We'll
Marshall,
get to
right?
those.
His son was a ball player.
Wait,
He
Peter
played-
Marshall,
The
Penny
host of Hollywood
Marshall's
Squares.
dad?
No, that's Gary Marshall. That was her
Gary
brother.
Marshall.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Peter
okay,
Marshall's
he died.
son was
Okay.
a professional ball player, and he used his real name, and his name was Pete Lecoq.
Pete Lecoq.
Pete
How you doing?
Lecoq.
Come
Peter
on, that's a
Lecoq.
name you got to change.
No, he didn't. He used it. Pete Lecoq. He
My
wanted-
name is Joey Ballsack. How you doing? It's good to meet you. Come on, change your name.
I went to high school with a kid. Now picture this. Picture you're just learning how to write your name, and you get a 10-question test, and he's still writing his name when the test is over. His name was Isidore Chapagnac.
Isidore Chapagnac. I used to
Chapagnac.
drive one of those.
So
Just
I mean, can
Change
you
your name to
imagine?
Pontiac.
Yeah, everyone's writing Joe Smith, Isidore Chapagnac.
Jeez.
It's like, sorry, the test is over.
Yeah, no kidding.
I thought, speaking of school, I thought of another thing. Ron DeSantis has the "Don't Say Gay" bill in Florida.
It's actually not called that. I was corrected.
Oh, what's it called?
It's called
Don't say queers.
everyone calls it that. It's Mother's Choice. or
Okay,
something.
well, anyway,
But yes, but everyone knows it as.
so I have a
Don't Say
question.
Gay.
So I have a question. What if your last name is Gay? Like I went to school with a guy named Andy Gay. So do I have to say
So they're going to
Andy?
change Andy Fag. We're going to call you. And their name's Andy.
I mean, what
Fag.
do? You can't
I know.
say it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, his brother. I knew his brother really well, Ben Gay.
And
Ben
gay.
Yeah, Ben Gay.
Oh, we've gone to the juvenile place again.
Ben Gay. Yeah.
Ben-
Okay. But I mean, seriously, I thought the other day, I'm like, what if your last name is Gay? Or your first name, like Gabriel, and people call you Gay?
I know. It's all so much stupidity. It's just
So
much-
I think I read in the paper last night about DeSantis. You know that he tried to take over Disney. Their tax thing.
They
he's
asked him.
jealous of a rat.
So wait, listen to this. So he put himself on the board of directors.
How can you just put yourself
Let's
on the
listen.
board of directors?
He's put himself on the board of directors, and that he had to be control who would be hired for the board of directors. That started on April 1st. Well, last night they called an emergency meeting and voted him off the board. So now he's taking him to court, and they're saying that if he loses this, Trump will be like all over and like, "Oh, you lost to a mouse. I get things done."
He's going to be all over him anyway. I mean, come on. How are you going to
Look at Craig right now. Don't move your position. Stay like that. Look, he looks like one of those bad holy pictures with the thing around his head.
Like Mary and a half shell.
Yeah.
You go along you go in front of an Italian house. They got that friggin' Mary and a half shell. It's like Mary standing in front of a clam shell or whatever it is. What is that all about? I don't know. I don't
We
understand.
had one of those at my house.
because you're Italian. It's like now. Here's the thing. Here you're talking about Italian.
It's a
What was with the
grotto.
horn? Remember the horn? You guys always. Every Italian I ever knew had a horn.
Yeah, the
What
jade
was the
horn.
horn?
The
What was
jade
the
horn.
horn?
Have you ever seen that Sebastian Maniscalco bit about that?
No.
Because if you're Italian, you had to have one hanging from the mirror of your car.
Yeah.
He goes, and the hand, and he goes, I remember picking up this girl once, and she looks at me and says, "Why do you have a pepper hanging from your rearview mirror?"
Pepper.
And I go, "It's not a pepper. It's the horn. It's the horn. It's to ward off the evil." You hear the words coming out of your mouth, and you go, like if somebody looks at you the wrong way, you got that to. Yeah, you don't have that in your religion or your heritage.
Hey, John,
so you answer my question, and is that really what it is? Is it to ward off evil spirits? The horn?
No. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It gets you laid too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like I forget. It's an Italian word that means like evil spells.
Right.
And yes, they wear that to protect.
Question,
protect them.
Are you FBI?
Am I FBI?
Full-blooded Italian?
No, half.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the other half?
What do you got? What is it?
English.
English and Italian.
English.
Yeah,
and
my
Italian.
grandfather was English.
That means.
So you eat spaghetti and mash.
half of his food sucks.
Bangers and meatballs, whatever.
I'm looking this up right now. What does the horn?
My friend Tony Romero.
Because as a Jew, I used to wear it's called the chai, chai, the chai.
Yes, that little looks like a pie symbol.
Yeah, which is peace. It means peace.
And the gay guys wear the Pete Lecoq. I'm wearing that right now.
Lecoq.
The Pete Lecoq.
They just wear a peach. It's shaped like a peach because it looks like an ass.
Pete Lecoq. Peter. That's Peter Lecoq.
Wait, now,
that basically is cock Lecoq.
Well, you're the only guy who's single, so maybe you know this because I don't. I've heard whatever. I don't know what the hell it means. What's the upside down pineapple mean? What the hell is that? It means
you're a swinger.
Okay. So like if I'm walking through the supermarket and I see a hot chick and she's got an upside down pineapple in the cart, that means she's actively searching for somebody.
Or she's making a fruit salad. So
now is she a single swinger or does she have a husband who wants to,
Probably.
Did you ever get propositioned by a couple?
Yes. Me personally, no. I've never been.
John, I did in Florida. I was doing comedy in Florida.
Okay, here we go. The horn means good luck. It is not rare to see Italians immediately making a horn sign with their hands to ward off. I don't know how to say this word. Malocchio. The Malocchio.
Ralph Macchio will not come to your house.
You got to ward off Ralph Macchio.
Or when someone pays you a compliment or wishes you something wonderful, most commonly the Italian horn is a symbol of good luck.
There you go. Okay.
My friend.
Or the last thing you see is a mobster stuffing you into a hole.
When he was 17, he would not go out. My friend Tony Romero would not go out without his jade horn. Had to wear it.
Well, I grew up with mostly Italians.
I always had the shirt open to show it.
It's a funny thing how that always worked out. I always was friends. All my best friends were always Italians.
Well, there's a very slight difference between Italians and Jews.
It's true.
It's like a different manager.
Well, you gotta admit, who's the main mobsters? It's like was the Jews and the Italians.
And here's the thing: the Jews had the bagels, and the Italians had the cannolis, and the cannoli will fit through the hole.
Wait, what do you mean?
You go.
You think that Jews don't have good desserts like Italians? Let me tell you something, my friend. You ever had a kugel? You ain't never had a kugel. So I made a
kugel. I made a kugel for my friend's 50th birthday. What are you talking
guys? I know I keep talking about that Sebastian Maniscalco. He's so funny. He does a thing about he goes to his wife's house who's Jewish, the Seder. And he goes, I sit down at the Seder table. I'm going, when does the food start? Yeah. And the father goes, we can read for a couple of hours. I need some Italian bread and some olive oil.
No, you got to eat some burnt herbs and some eggs.
Yeah, he goes burnt eggs. And he goes, look, next time you have a Seder, call me. I'll cater it with an Italian thing. He goes, I can't sit. John? He goes, He goes, I can't sit at a table that long without a little bread and olive oil.
That's great.
Believe it or not, I'm Jewish, and I've only been to one Seder, and that was in L.A. You're talking about Jamie, what's his name? Masada, the one who owns
Right.
the
comedy, the Laugh Factory.
right. So when I first moved, he's Jewish, yeah. When he's Israeli, he's from Israel.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
When I first moved out, he had a thing, and he probably still does it, where he has a restaurant or a hotel. He rents it out, and he has it for anybody, any comic
That's
anyone's
nice.
is can attend. And so I'd never been to one. I said, "What the hell? I don't know anybody in LA." And I went.
Food never ends.
I used to go out with this girl that was Jewish, and her father was so funny. And you don't have to say to her, they leave that empty seat.
Yeah, for Abraham, right? They leave the
Yeah.
door open, and
Yeah, and they leave the empty seat. So I show up and it's Seder, and he goes, "Take that seat." He never shows up
he
anyway.
never shows up anyway.
I saw the empty seat.
Do me
I
a
thought it was
favor,
for
go put a little ram's blood on the outside of the door, and then go.
I
sit
saw
down.
the empty seat. I thought it was for the dog.
The dog.
So-
And he was
Dogs
delicious.
come up in the seat and they beg and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The dog.
Hey.
You guys ever go to
Whatever.
Amish country?
The big, yes.
Oh,
like
yeah.
many years ago. Many years
My
ago.
friend Tom and I went to Amish country, and we wanted to go into one of those big, what do they call it? The family eating. What do they call it? The family eating.
A
place?
barn.
I don't know what it was. It was a big
Noodles
place.
and barn raisings. That's
No,
what
they
I
would bring
remember.
you the food to your table. It was like a
Yeah.
whatever I forget what they call it. And we were the only two there. It was like a Tuesday morning,
Uh-huh.
and all these plates of food came. Just me and him. We're in this gigantic dining hall. We're the only two people in it. I mean, it was so empty that our knives would echo off the plate.
Bill McCarthy used to do the funniest thing about the Amish. He used to go, he used to
We're
say,
doing other people's acts here.
I
We're
know,
gonna
but
get
this is-
sued.
Hey, really, John? What's up?
"This is really funny. This is really funny." And this is
Wow.
compliment. This is the funniest bit I've ever heard on the
At
Amish.
least you're telling him who it is.
Yeah, Bill McCarthy used to do this bit where he goes, "You ever go to the Amish country?" He goes, "Let me tell you something. Those Amish women are wild. In the middle of a conversation, boom, they kind of run off and can some peaches."
There you go.
He
My
goes,
barn is raised.
he goes like this. He goes, and he goes to the whole big thing, and then he goes, people go, "How can you make fun of these people?" It's simple. They don't go to comedy clubs.
That's it.
Even if they do, they can't call each other and tell about it.
Yeah.
He goes, "And what's the worst they're going to actually do to me? Is Aesop going to put a curse on my wheat crop?"
I was watching a great movie, by the way. If you've never seen it, it's almost 40 years old, but it's Witness with Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm watching that this week. I love this movie. It's great. I'm thinking, I wonder what the Amish think about this movie. Then I went, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
I'll tell you the truth. The only thing I remember of the Amish country is Pennsylvania Dutch noodles. First time I ever had them was in the Amish country.
Shoe
they have
fly
the-
pie. Shoe fly
You know
pie.
that the Amish have a mafia,
The
the
Amish,
Amish mafia. Yeah, they do.
What do
What?
they call it? The
Yeah, they do. No, I'm serious. Do you never see that series on TV, The Amish Mafia?
What?
There was a series, Amish Mafia, and they try to take territories about giving buggy. I'm dead serious.
All I know is that they got a period where they let the women,
Yeah, for a
the young
year.
people out for a year to see if they still want to stay in the life. And it's just amazing to me that anyone ever goes back.
I know.
They go out and they drink and they do
There was a
drugs and they
comedian. There was an
screw
Amish
and-
comedian who left the lifestyle and was doing comedy. He was hilarious.
Yeah,
He used to work Pennsylvania. This is 35 years ago too.
that was Aesop Schultz.
You never had shoe fly pie? Do you know what shoe fly pie is?
No, I never had
It's
it.
basically molasses pie. That's
It's
what
like see, it's too sweet. Like it would be like a pecan pie. I can't eat pecan pie.
way
either. It's
sweeter
too
than that.
sweet.
Way sweet. My friend and I got stuck because my car broke down in Amish country.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of money, so we bought like 7 shoe fly pies, and
Yeah.
that's what we ate for like 3 days.
It's
That's I think that's how I got diabetes. I really
Diabetes on a plate.
Yeah.
Have a little diabetes here. Here you go.
So you know what's so weird
Comes
when
with
you
a
go
side
to,
of insulin.
when you go to the Amish? What's so weird is that they can't use anything mechanical.
or,
So
or
they take bicycles and they take off the chain and the pedals and put a piece of wood there on a woman's bike and make it a scooter.
Is that true?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm almost
Why can't they
envious.
use a
I'm almost
bicycle? It's
envious.
not electric powered.
I'm
It's
almost envious
mechanical.
of the lifestyle. I mean, there's a part of me that wouldn't mind going back without all the technology and all, just going to a simpler way of life. I mean,
And most of them do have phones, but they can't have it in the house.
Really? They
And
do
like-
have phones now?
and
They
it's
have a
probably those
phone
ones
booth.
that go. You got to
No, they have like a phone booth
Oh,
on their property. Now they probably will have cell
John,
phones.
we got to find a phone number for that and do prank calls.
Frank calls.
Electricity's coming to your town next week.
Yeah.
Click.
This is Mr. Ed talking. I'm a talking horse. Hello.
Come to the barn right now.
Yeah.
Just like they're like,
Yeah, I mean, like when they plow a field, they do it the old-fashioned way with a horse and a plow that they push.
Yeah, the play.
they can't use buttons because they're proud, and they use snaps, and they don't.
Some of it's just a little.
And they
Have
don't
you guys
ridiculous,
have you guys ever seen my video? I'll post it of the Amish Uber ride that I went on.
The Amish Uber was a buggy ride, right?
This is a God's honest truth. I was at that Magic convention in it's called Abbott's, and it's in Colon, Michigan. And there was a sign
Wait,
all
did
over
you say Colon,
Michigan? Yeah, I know.
Isn't that Magic. I thought that was Detroit.
That's the real asshole of the state.
It's the magic capital of the world, apparently.
It
is. All the famous magicians are buried there in one cemetery. It's ridiculous.
And now,
anyway, so now they, so we're there, and we keep seeing signs for Amish Uber. So my friend and I go, we got to take the Amish Uber. So we flagged the guy down, and he was an auctioneer. I have a video of us in this Amish Uber, and he's doing his auction. I'll send you the tape when we get off. Yeah. Maybe you can put it on.
How do you contact him? By smoke signals?
Yeah, really.
You have to wait till he goes by.
Yeah.
I can't see there's no app for it.
And then wait, the guy that I went with, right? So there's three of us, and I'm like the smallest out of all of us, and the guy, and there's one seat, and he had his dog. So when my friend went to get in, he was so big that I had to hike out on the other side like a sailboat so he wouldn't flip over the cart.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Oh, Amish Uber. That's
like I said, I'm almost envious. Like I watch those shows like Alone or you know where guys you have to survive out with nothing basically, or I like the ones that are in Alaska or where it's life below zero, all these things because it's like what the hell? I mean, if something ever did happen, we'd all die. These people would survive. I mean, they know how to survive without all the modern technology.
The stupidest show ever is that Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid. That is why.
It is so stupid. It's like just when I saw the guy goes, yeah. He goes, they let me take a fire starter and this with me, but I decided I'm not taking that fire starter. I'm not taking that fire starter because I really want this to be a challenge. Day 3, he's crying. I should have taken the fire starter. I'm freezing.
That's that show Alone too. But why do you got to be naked? I get it. You're out in the middle of the woods and you're afraid. Yes, or you're in the middle of anywhere and you're afraid. But I mean, it's so freaking it's such a pandering for ratings that you got to make them naked. I
gotta tell you something about me. If I was naked, you guys would be afraid.
Yeah, we're afraid of you fully dressed. What are you talking about? You're like fucking John Wayne Gacy clown. I would not be shocked to find out that when you get arrested and they're like, he's got fucking bodies in the wall. I'd be like, yeah.
No, I don't keep them in the wall. I don't keep them in the wall.
Yeah.
I was watching that Naked and Afraid, and they were like in Africa or something, and the temperature dropped to 40 degrees at night and then went down to 38 and they were freezing to death, right? Yeah. And so finally they gave them a package, a survival package. You know what it was? One skin blanket. One skin blanket, like a pelt. That was it. That was their survival.
Have a pelt. Here's a pelt. Give the guy a pelt, will you? It can't help you too much, but here's a pelt.
Here, take this pelt. But we just
give me a book of matches, you sons of bitches.
Just took it off of Trump's head. Take this pelt.
Oh,
it's so funny. It's like I watched that show and I'm thinking to myself, why would you want to do this? Big deal. The guy taps out. Oh, his survival rating went from 7.2 to 7. Oh, who cares?
There must be money involved. That's why.
There's not that much money involved. Well, they get $1,000 a week.
Yeah, but they also a lot of them are survivalists that train other survivalists. So it really it gets your street cred,
Ugh.
I can't watch any. I think I'm of the opinion that all reality shows are scripted. They're all bullshit.
And they all are because you can tell they do second takes, third. Now the original take maybe isn't quite scripted, but the ideas and whatever, and then you know they showed that on the Osbournes, which was the first reality show.
I'll give you an
They'd show
example.
how they didn't like something, and they would reshoot it.
Beat Bobby Flay, right? This is a show where they get two chefs. First, they compete against each other on an ingredient that Bobby gives. Then they take their favorite dish and they challenge Bobby with it. And then they have independent judges judge who won. And it's like, okay, so the person goes, I'm going to do lobster bisque, and they do lobster bisque, but all of a sudden the judges are all from fish stores or fish restaurants. I'm like, how did you know? It's all set up. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. You notice how we're talking about Alone and, you know, a survival, and he's talking about cooking shows.
I am a chef. I am a shit.
There was another one of those survival shows where they put 10 people out, but when people tapped out, they didn't let you know.
That's Alone. Alone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What do you mean people tapped out? So you don't know if you're alone or not?
So
no, you don't know. You never know who's the last one until they.
Yeah, you could be the last one living out there.
But that's $1 million. The prize, I think, is it 100,000 or $1 million? I forget.
100,000. But you could be living out there.
How do you win that?
You have to
be living out there
one.
for weeks, and the show has been over for like 3 seasons.
Yeah, so
but no one told you.
So there's 10 people. So whoever they're tapping out, but the individuals don't know how many are left. So you might be like, I'm about to quit. But you're thinking, man, maybe there's, you know, you don't know if there's 5 people left or there's 1 person left, you know. So
that reminds me when people put their hands on a car, and whoever's the last person had their hand on the car, they win.
I'm not camping out anywhere after seeing Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
Tell us about that. I want to see.
If you want to gang out, you got to check it out. Cocaine Bear.
So the true story of this is that there's a drug dealer in a plane, and he's going to drop all his drugs off in the forest.
Right.
Something goes wrong with the plane. He puts about, it was something like 1,000 pounds of cocaine in duffel bags on his body.
Holy shit.
Jumps out of the plane, the parachute won't work, and he lands in a guy's driveway with 1,000 pounds of cocaine, and his Gucci loafer's dead.
Holy shit.
The plane crashes in the woods. This bear finds the cocaine. Oh. And apparently the bear eats like 3 ounces of coke.
Is that a lot?
Which it's a lot for a human. I don't know how much it is for 1,000-pound bear, but
they said
sure they got him going.
They said there was a gram in his bloodstream.
Oh, did the bear like?
The bear died. The bear died. In the movie, the bear goes nuts.
In the movie, the bear got a straw.
In the movie, the bear starts a business.
The bear starts snorting coke in the movie.
He got himself a straw.
Like what happens is there's one hanging in a tree. He swats it, and it comes down like it's snowing. And he's like,
"Hey, boo boo, how about a little cocaine? I don't like cocaine."
It's like
Yogi, you're so manic, Yogi.
Cocaine.
Yogi, you're so manic.
It's like Jaws with a bear. But with like a really dark sense of humor.
Oh my God! Again, I've never seen them, but because I can't bring myself to be that stupid.
Right.
How about
so it's about like a black bear, right?
Yeah. It's like Sharknado.
Yeah, I've dated plenty of cocaine bears in my time, and it's not the same thing.
Sharknado is funny too.
See, but I can't bring myself to like be that stupid and suspend my disbelief to believe that there are sharks in the storm coming down and eating people. It's like,
you know where that comes from, right, Mike?
No,
they have water spouts in Tampa. My friend lives in Tampa, and a water spout will hit the water because they're prevalent, and like one live fish will be bouncing off his house door.
I could see that, but come on, it's gonna there's gonna be a hurricane of sharks.
No, it's Sharknado, not a hurricane. A Sharknado.
Sharknado,
It's conceivable if there's.
I went to see Sharknado because I could not believe that somebody actually walked in to a movie studio and said, I got this idea.
Yeah,
I got this idea. This idea.
I got this idea.
That drops sharks all over. They eat people. To me, and they
come on, John. Do Ray Romano walking into the studio trying to get money for
I have this idea about a shark. It's a tornado thing. It's a tornado thing. And they fall down and they start eating people, eating them up with reckless abandonment.
And his wife's named Deborah.
Not only did the guy get money for this movie, they said, you know what? Here's money for a second one.
They made 4 of them, right?
No. Oh God!
Didn't they make 4 of them?
I don't know, but I know that it was 2.
I'm going to watch. Of course, I got to see this movie, Cocaine Bear. But I mean, It's just
It's terrible. It's stupid, but look, we have a movie theater. Let's do this. We have a movie theater here. On Tuesday nights, it's only $5 to go to the movies.
right.
My son goes, you should see it. Wait till Tuesday nights. Right. So I go there and I have this is so stupid. I have a bag of gummy bears.
I have a bag of Coke.
Regular gummy bears, not like medicine or anything. And this theater's like, there's this guy who's like the refreshment police that works at the movie theater, right? And it's like, so I have this in my pocket. I take out the gummy bears. I got them in my hand to pay for the ticket. And he comes running up to me and he goes, and I put it in my pocket by the time he goes, what's in the blue bag? And I go, my medicine.
Nice.
There you go.
And Chris just looks at me like, your medicine.
Yeah, well, they could be CBD gummies.
That's right, man. CBD gummies, man.
Well, you know, cocaine. I just looked it up. Cocaine Bear made $62 million domestically for a movie like that.
But that's because everyone's talking about it.
It's a Paramount movie. It's a Paramount movie. It's a big production movie.
And I think everyone who goes knows
Banks.
they're going to see crap. Everyone knows they're going to see crap, but they go anyway. But it's like a car wreck. You got to go.
It's funny. It's just funny. It's stupid. It's just, it's.
Hey, man.
Elizabeth Banks directed it. She, you know her, right?
No.
Who is she now? She's from.
Well, I think her most famous role. Well, she was in the Hunger Games, but I think she was like the woman with the white hair. Hunger Games, and she was also she played Betty Brant in Spider-Man.
Okay.
That clears it.
That
right
narrows
up.
it right there.
That clears
You guys,
it.
so
Right
you're right there on the cutting edge of anything
Yeah.
that's pop culture, guys. That's good.
Meanwhile, there was a thing today. It says heartthrobs from the 90s,
I'm in
Right.
that.
right? And I went through it, and there was 40 of them. I knew 3 of them.
From the '90s.
And I knew that I should download it, and we could do it on the show. Maybe we'll do that next
Well,
week.
it's got to be.
And I know that Craig will know every single one of them and who they were in.
I could name
Okay.
a couple of them right now. Tom Selleck's got to be one of them.
No, there's no women.
That's 80s.
It's mostly women.
Tom Selleck is 80s.
Okay. Then all the ones I'm going to name are probably 80s.
Tom Selleck is definitely 80s with Maggie.
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson's 80s.
No, these
80s.
are all women that I never even heard of half of them.
Well,
Women. I may not know them then.
yeah, Craig
Well,
Byers
it's
should
all
know that.
It's all TV people.
All right.
You would know the show.
Just to let you know, we have about 4 minutes left to go. So
You wouldn't even know the show and how much they made, Craig. You're so
Really?
into
I
that
got
stuff.
4 minutes to wrap it up.
Oh, yeah,
man.
4 minutes to the end game. That's all I'm going to say. I leave it up to you guys to know and to do it. But no, I'm big on pop culture. I think that's what keeps me so young. I mean, I look great for 29. But seriously, folks.
Oh,
That's
I found it. I found
People
it.
tell me I
All
got
right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Hit me,
go
hit
ahead.
me
I found
with
it.
one. Just give me the name. I'll tell you.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah,
Oh, I know
was
she
Buffy.
is Sarah Michelle
Buffy.
Gellar. She's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I worked with her. I did it.
She was also
I did a double episode of
She was-
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
she was also in Scooby Doo movies.
This
I
one I,
was-
know.
I-
Jennifer Love Hewitt. I know
I
her.
worked with
Yeah,
her
yeah.
too.
Party
I
of
worked with her
Five.
too. I worked with her. Matter of fact, as
She's
a what else was
Danielle Faisal.
that? Don't know that one.
Yeah, she actually Faisal. She created Viagra and she changed her name to Pfizer.
No, she created the virus protection.
Topanga
Pfizer.
from Boys Meet World.
Oh yeah, okay.
Do you know that?
I don't know the show, but I know the show, but I don't know her.
But
I
I'd
know
like to
her.
say I've worked with two. But Sarah Michelle Gellar and the what did you say? Jennifer Love Hewitt was.
Yeah,
oh my
I
God,
mean,
such-
I know.
That's
She's
a
on
beautiful-
911 now.
She is a heartthrob. She is freaking
Lacey Chabert.
gorgeous. Oh
Lacey
yeah,
Schubert?
sure. No, I never heard of her.
Lacey.
Oh wait, no, Lacey should no, don't know who she is.
Was she on no, I don't know.
She was Claudia in Party of Five.
Okay,
Yeah.
Party of Five. I just said that.
I never even heard of that show.
A Party of Three.
Tara Banks. I
Party
know
of
her.
One. Balls. Party of Two. Balls.
Ferrantino, Party of Three. Hey
Two
man,
balls.
balls. I'm
Anna
tripping balls, man.
Anna Cholumsky.
Oh yeah, Anna Chomsky. She was from My Girl.
Yeah, yeah.
My
She's
girl.
Yeah, she was also on. She was also on Veep. She was really good.
I feel like,
Oh.
but
I love
but
Anna Chomsky because she watched Macaulay Culkin die of bee stings.
Oh, I love her.
Who?
Who's
She's
that?
my favorite. Drew Barrymore.
Well, duh.
Yeah, I love Drew.
E.T. 51st Dates.
Now
Well,
I'm
here's
starting
a
to know.
question. I was watching.
Vincent.
I was watching. I didn't see the whole thing. I just started watching Key Largo last night, and it just reminded me how incredibly beautiful Lauren Bacall. I mean, oh my
Oh
god,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
probably one of. If you made a top 10 list of the most beautiful women ever,
And Boogie
actresses.
got her.
It was
Yeah.
her voice. It was her voice.
Oh
too.
my god, there's just something about her. It was just so amazing.
Madeline Zimmer.
Who?
Madeline Zimmer.
I don't know.
Madeline Zimmer.
I don't know her either.
She's from Californication.
I've never saw that series. That's
Hey, is
with
the soup
David
ready? No,
Duchovny.
let it Zimmer.
Christine Taylor.
Christine Taylor from the Brady Bunch movie. She's married to Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
No, see,
Yeah.
I'm
She looks,
lost.
and
I'm
she
lost
looks
in
like
this.
Marsha. She does. She
This
always-
supposed to be the heartthrob. The gay guy's got them all.
You
What
know
does that
why?
tell
Because
ya?
they're too young. They're too young.
I didn't get
for
them
us.
all.
Because he's interested in them because
They're like
actresses.
Pokemon. I got them all.
Oh,
Gotta get
now
them all.
I'm starting to know them. Christine Applegate. Everyone
Right.
knows her.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's time to wrap it up.
Danielle Harris.
He doesn't hear me. He doesn't want to hear. He wants
Danielle Harris.
Today's episode brought to you by
I never even
Cocaine
heard-
Bear.
Wait, listen to this. And we'll leave on this.
Let's leave on this.
Danielle Harris,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know her.
From the memorable movie Don't Tell Your Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
Big-
actually a pretty good movie. That's
big hit.
Christina Applegate's in that.
Yeah.
She wore the helmet. She wore the helmet. She wore the Thor
You
helmet.
never heard of the movie.
She wore the Thor helmet.
You
Yeah.
know, I know I'm old when I watch Saturday Night Live. I don't know any of the hosts. I don't know any of the bands.
Yeah.
But John, that was you in the 80s too.
To be honest with you, man,
That's
it's
me
like
in the 60s.
generally SNL now is like maybe one decent skit, and I watch it for Weekend Update.
I think you're
Weekend Update.
underrated.
This episode brought to you by Cocaine Bear.
Okay,
All right. Well, listen, don't feed the bears.
don't.
And
Well, some bears.
my theory
bears.
is he bought it from Smokey.
Yes. And we'll see you on Podcast Playground. We'll see you on Strong Island TV. We'll see you on Rakuku. We'll see you
Or
on
wherever you
Spotify.
find
We'll see
your
you on
fine
Apple
podcast.
TV or wherever you find your best podcast. Don't smoke too much of the Big Bad Broadcast. It could be dangerous to your health.
It's not dangerous. Just smoke as much as you want.
All righty. See you next week. Same time, same bat station.
Peace.
Ha 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 ha!